Tell us what rescue means, because I see that it has a meaning. So can you tell us what it stands for?
Yes, it's an acronym. And RESCUE stands for R.E.S.C.U.E, Elephant Sanctuary, Community United for Elephants. Awesome. So it's the perfect name for the film, and what that means is R.E.S.C.U.E Elephant Sanctuary is what the film is about, and the community, the Samburu people in Northern Africa, united together to save their elephants. Awesome. So that's why we named it Rescue.
Awesome. I loved watching the documentary. I got to see it, and it was so touching because I'm an animal lover. What inspired you to do this documentary, and were there challenges in doing this, in filming?
Yes, to both. I would say I was first inspired by visiting R.E.S.C.U.E. I had been there a couple of times in northern Kenya, and I was astounded by the work that these elephant keepers were doing and their dedication and their love and commitment to the work that they were doing. It wasn't for them just a job. It really was something that they connected with. And what makes the story so inspiring is that there really is this symbiotic relationship between the elephant keepers and what the elephant have brought back to the community. Yes. By saving these elephant, it's offered new opportunities to all of these local Samburu people. They're bringing the elephants back to their conservation land. That's bringing in more tourism. It's bringing in more income, and that leads to better education, better healthcare. So it was very interesting to see all of the spin-offs that happen when you follow this story.
Yes, I noticed how the community of women came together, and it was to see the sustainability of the goat's milk, how they support those women who are producing the goat's milk to feed the elephants was remarkable. How did that partnership develop, or was that just genuinely natural when you got there?
That is fairly new. I think the Milk to Market program started in 2021, and it developed a little bit out of COVID when supply chains broke down and they were having trouble getting the formula to feed the elephants. But they also very much wanted to source within their community. They didn't want to have to buy formula from across the world, and it just made sense. These Samburu women are nomadic pastoralists, and they tend to goat herds. So there were all of these goats that had goat milk, and if you could figure out a way to use that goat milk to feed the baby elephants, it's a win-win. Yes. And they figured out what to do to this formula, what to pasteurize it, what nutrients to add to it, to make it something viable to feed the elephant. And at the same time, all of these Samburu women now have an income, which is incredible, because they've never had money in their lives.
And I loved how they got to bring their babies, their children with them, and the children got to see the elephants and see that process. So that's like future conservationists that are going to come into that part of it. And I think that's so inspiring. I know for me, it must be a tearjerker when they have to, after 7 years of raising these baby elephants, to have to release them into their own habitat. Like, how was that? Did you experience that as well?
Yes.
Because I can imagine, like, seeing them from little.
You're right. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to say that they did just release 13 elephant onto, well, the big exciting thing about it, not only that they were being released, but they actually went back onto Samburu land. So they had in the past released a few elephant onto other areas, and now they're putting them onto local Samburu land. But you know, Dorothy talks about that in the film also. I mean, she says you become almost a mother.
Yes.
And you connect with these babies, and then the whole time you're trying to rear them to be released and to be able to live on their own in the wild. That's the ultimate goal. Right. But it is heartbreaking. I mean, even when I was there for, you know, the 10 days, I mean, I've been there a few times, I always connect with these elephants.
And they have great memory. So has there been a case that the elephants come back to visit after they've been released? I always wondered, I wondered that, so I figured let me ask that question.
I know stories that they do. I haven't seen it,
Right.
but sometimes they will come back, or they'll come back with the herd, show the new babies. They do have a connection.
Awesome.
They have such a capacity for empathy and love and connection. Once they're wild, though, they're wild.
Yeah.
So they'll come back from a distance. They'll look, but they don't come in. They don't interact.
It's like,
anymore.
we're here, hey.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how
Awesome.
you want it to be.
Yeah, and I love your passion about this documentary. Are there any others that you're going to be doing that's similar to this, or?
Well,
In the future?
I'm not sure I'm supposed to say, but we may
Okay.
be doing one about a very exciting one about translocating a huge amount of rhino from one rhino reserve to another. And that's all I can say about it.
No problem. Well, I love the fact that I got to meet you. I love the fact that I got to see the documentary 3 times.
Thank you.
And it's amazing. I'm excited. I can't wait to meet you again during the festival. I'm excited about it, and I wish you much success, continued success, that is.
Thank you.
In northern Kenya, near the Matthews Range, lies the Namunyak Conservancy. It is home to the Samburu people, nomadic pastoralists, who've shared this land and wildlife and lived side by side with these elephants for centuries. Unfortunately, poaching, climate change, and the extreme drought that took place over 4 decades brought elephant populations from 15,000 to 400. But thankfully, all that is changing. This story is about hope, survival, and a community working to save its wild elephants. It is the story about the R.E.S.C.U.E Elephant Sanctuary. Created by the Sarara Foundation in 2016, the Samburu-owned Elephant Orphanage is showing the world how a community committed to saving their elephants and protecting their wildlife also transforms lives, grows economies, and safeguards a cultural heritage.
None of us had ever raised an elephant. We'd never done this before, so we were learning so much. It's a huge undertaking, and it is a huge dedication. Anyone that knows anything about looking after animals is so much about love and care and patience and this sort of ability to connect with an animal that's been through so much trauma. And all these things that take that little bit extra, that you have to inconvenience yourself to have this animal survive. The women have this way of just sort of making it look really easy.
My name is Dorothy Lowaktok, and I'm from the Samburu community. And I'm lucky because I was among the first women to be elephant keepers in East Africa. Our mission is to rescue, rehabilitate, and then we rewild this animal back into the world. So being a conservationist woman, this is like being a role model to the entire world. Do it with all your heart. Don't expect anything. So for me, I'm very happy to be part of conservation as a woman, and I know I will do this as long as I will be alive. And I will always love and hug every woman who gives first priority to conservation.